Hey everyone, it's Mark for Windows Central, and this is the Lenovo Yoga 700, a convertible laptop with 4 usage modes: laptop, stand, tent, or tablet. You choose how you want to use it. The Lenovo Yoga 700 has a 14-inch Full HD IPS touchscreen display. Starting at $799, you can get it with the 6th Gen Intel Core i5 processor at 2.3 GHz, 8 GB of RAM, 256 GB of SSD drive, and Intel HD Graphics 520. You can go up to an i7 2.5 GHz processor and a GeForce 940M graphics card, which gives you top-of-the-line model at $999. Our review unit is the base model in black. It's refreshing to see compared to many silver laptops I'm used to. Don't worry, if you prefer silver, the Yoga 700 also comes in that color. The Lenovo Yoga 700 starts at 3.6 pounds and just 0.7 inches thin. It's not one of the lightest laptops I've held, but it's certainly lighter than it looks. I love the soft touch material of the exterior and the smooth metallic material where the keyboard is. I also like the chrome border surrounding the trackpad. What's unique about the Yoga 700 is its hinge. It doesn't look as fancy as the watch band hinge on the more expensive Yoga 900, but it works the same. You can push the display all the way back until you have a tablet form factor. You could also use it in stand or tent mode. The hinge is firm, but you will notice movement when using the touchscreen. The edges on the Yoga 700 are made of a rubber material with a sort of a rough surface. This helps add friction and keep the laptop in place when used in tent mode. The left side of the Yoga 700 has an AC power adapter port, a USB 3.0 port, audio jack, and SD card slot. The right side has another USB 3.0 port, micro HDMI, volume buttons, rotation lock, Novo button for booting into a recovery system, power button, and battery status indicator. The Novo button is a bit strange to have, but it's recessed so it's hard to press without a pin or using your fingernail. The bottom of the Yoga 700 has the vents and stereo speakers. I like the location of the speakers because they're facing outwards on the left and right side of the laptop while not being completely covered when placed on the desk. The 14-inch Full HD IPS display is vibrant and has a wide viewing angle, but I have a couple of issues with it. The display is glossy, so you'll see a lot of reflection. That's usually fixed by cranking up the screen brightness, but unfortunately the screen is not as bright as I'd like it to be, even at 100% brightness. All the items on the screen were also bigger than I prefer by default, so I changed the size of the text, apps, and other items from 150% to 125% in the settings. Above the display is a 1 megapixel camera. It's not great for selfies, but should be good enough for video calling. Below the display is the Windows button, which you can tap for the start menu. The backlit keyboard feels fine to type on. There's adequate travel when pressing the keys. However, I'm not used to having another key directly to the right of the backspace button, so I ended up pressing the home button by mistake frequently. A lot of people might like Lenovo's hotkeys on the top row. They give you quick access to certain system settings like the screen brightness, volume, airplane mode, task view, and more. There are also 2 combinations with the function key that are really useful. Pressing function and escape enables paper display mode, which changes the display color temperature for a better reading experience. It adds a yellowish tint to the display. The function key with the spacebar turns on the keyboard light. It's not adjustable though, so it's either on or off. The trackpad is spacious, which is great for moving the pointer around the screen. However, scrolling isn't very reliable. Depending on what apps I have open, scrolling is inconsistent. It's either too fast, too slow, or just not right. I'm also annoyed that I can't tap with 2 fingers to simulate a right click. Clicking with 2 fingers works, so it's not a huge deal, but I'm confused why tapping with 2 fingers does not work. The Lenovo Yoga 700 comes with Windows 10 Home. It also comes with several pre-installed software. McAfee in particular is one of the first things I had to uninstall. It kept popping up telling the device isn't fully protected and that I had to buy a subscription. Uninstalling McAfee automatically re-enables the built-in Windows Defender to protect the PC. Other pre-installed software include Lenovo Companion, Lenovo Settings, Lenovo ID, Lenovo Photo Master, Reach It, Share It, and Dolby Audio. I didn't care for Lenovo's Photo Master, which is their own photo gallery and editing app. However, Lenovo's Companion and Settings apps are where I've discovered Lenovo's unique features. For example, Lenovo Settings lets you enable paper display, which I talked about before, battery conservation mode, battery stretch, mobile hotspot, and more. Lenovo Companion can run a scan for the PC or check for Lenovo's own updates as well. By default, Lenovo Companion app pins a button in the taskbar for one-click scanning. I didn't like that, but it's easy to unpin. When it comes to performance, I don't notice the Yoga 700 struggling at tasks such as opening emails, browsing the web, watching Netflix, and writing documents on Microsoft Word. I've also installed Photoshop and didn't really notice any issues. However, I did have a problem using Lightroom. I had to disable using the graphics processor in Lightroom's preferences in order to edit images. Perhaps a driver update for Intel HD Graphics 520 can fix this issue. Another issue I noticed is that I hear popping sounds from the speakers when playing a video in Microsoft Edge and scrolling at the same time. I also hear these popping sounds when I'm playing games. Speaking of games, I don't play often, but I can tell you right now that this isn't a gamer device. I notice skip frames even with games that aren't too demanding. Popping sounds from the speakers are noticeable too. An example is Despicable Me Minion Rush from the Windows Store. It can get noticeably laggy on the Yoga 700. Other games like Halo Spartan Strike and Hitman Go seem to work fine though. For those who are looking for numbers, our Lenovo Yoga 700 scored 2,675 on Geekbench 3 for single core and 5,818 for multi-core. Let's now talk about the battery. Lenovo claims the battery lasts up to 7 hours. From my usage, I noticed it lasted about 5 to 6 hours. Your results may vary depending on what apps or games you use. So what's the verdict on the Lenovo Yoga 700? The hardware is nice, even though the hinge isn't as beautiful as the one found on the higher end Yoga 900. I like that I can position it any way I want depending on the situation. For example, I like using intent mode when I'm watching Netflix. I also like the way it feels. The soft touch surface is great and I'm a fan of the all black color. Unfortunately, my overall experience with the Yoga 700 makes it hard for me to recommend the laptop. The issues with the popping sounds from the speakers are quite annoying and the unpredictable trackpad is frustrating. Maybe the issues will be fixed with a firmware update, but for now, I suggest looking at another device. So that's my review of the Lenovo Yoga 700. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments section below. I'm Mark Wim for Windows Central. Thanks for watching.